for this panel, we are going to discuss about the application of blockchain technology to business processes, right? We all know the first use case of blockchain technologies, cryptocurrencies and all that. But the technology, the underlying technology, we can use it for business process. And we are going to hear from the expert what are the different ways we can leverage on blockchain and if we can apply blockchain in different industries. For this panel, we are going to have Meike straight from Germany and Yosuke Yoshida from Emurgo from Japan. And then we are going to have my dear friend Charles from Nigeria. Charles, are you here?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
So we are going to do a quick introduction of each of you, and then we are going to discuss about the topic itself. Meike, please.
Hello, everyone. I would call myself an entrepreneur in the blockchain and no-code space. I'm here today representing Blockxspace, a blockchain consulting company, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Meike. Yosuke, I think you already introduced yourself earlier.
Yes, I think I did, but my name is Yosuke Yoshida from Emurgo. We are one of the co-founding entity of Cardano Layer 1. Thank you.
Just to highlight that Emurgo is one of the co-founder of Cardano blockchain, which is a global blockchain platform, right? Charles?
Okay, good. My name is Charles Okaformbah. I'm co-founder and CTO at Convexity. All right.
Thank you, Charles. So let's start with Meike. I think you have been advising some projects where they are applying blockchain technology. Can you share like some information on which type of project in which industry they have applied blockchain?
Sure, thank you for the question. First of all, unfortunately, many projects are under NDA, which I cannot talk about, but I want to mention some, let's say, sectors. The first one was actually in the gaming sector. So we connected a game with the blockchain, and we put the game steps and some assets on the blockchain because we wanted to show that we can actually scale a public proof of work layer 1 blockchain where we did over 21 million transactions within 24 hours, which is very good compared, for example, to Ethereum, which can do 1.7 million transactions within 24 hours. And this might not be like this use case which everybody can relate to. So there are others which also need many transactions, like the financial sector. But everybody is touched by the supply chain management, supply chain, for example, of food, of medicine, or fashion. How do you know where your food comes from? Basically, currently you need to rely on people, you need to trust people. But imagine putting a full supply chain onto the blockchain, connected for example, IoT sensors who can sensor the temperature. What's the temperature hold through all the journey? Does your medicine still work? This can be done, for example, with a blockchain. And also secure and store data or make data quite inaccessible for third parties. So, for example, when you want to make sure that your data is not being manipulated, or when you want to provide that people from outside can verify documents. We have outside the Technical University of Mauritius. Imagine people making their PhDs. How can you verify that someone tells you he made a PhD here at the university? Is it real PhD? Is it a real doctor? With the blockchain, you can verify these things. Or when documents are being created in a government, how can you make sure that some few people that didn't manipulate on that data, or when you store data, how can you ensure that it's stored in a secure way and not being accessed by other countries who want to probably spy on data and so forth?
Thank you, Meike. I think we have some representative of the University of Technology Mauritius. I hope you are taking note what are the things that you can do with blockchain, right? Thank you for this, Meike. I forgot to ask the first question that everyone can understand. Yosuke, if we need to define blockchain in some few and simple words, what are these words that you're going to the audience? What is blockchain? To explain blockchain to the layman.
Few words in.
Just to explain what is blockchain.
Oh, it's a distributed ledger, but it's more like bringing in trust to internet. Okay. In the early days, like 5-6 years ago, when I joined this space, Web3 space, blockchain space, I thought that this crypto is only becoming a part of this blockchain revolution. It's a part of it. I really thought like it's gonna be part of it, and a lot of things happening on blockchain other than crypto. But now when we talk about that, when this is bringing value to blockchain, bringing value is always somehow connected to crypto. Like everything that's really happening, really starting to make sense, like NFTs, DeFi, stablecoin. We're all talking about cryptos. Most of the solutions that are really bringing some changes, meaning that are starting to make sense, are crypto related. Mm-hmm. So now I think that it's something that we can't really separate it. Of course, there are several projects that, like the one that you mentioned, that traceability solution that is pure blockchain kind of project without crypto. But like, I kind of see that, let's say 70-80% of the blockchain project that I see and would make real changes in the daily life or the society would somehow be related to this tokens or crypto, because that's how the blockchain or Web3, that's how the blockchain is able to bring in the value to the internet.
Yeah, but there's one very regular question that we receive from people, I would say in Mauritius. They want to see if they can use blockchain without the cryptocurrency, without the native cryptocurrency. Can this be done? And can we use smart contracts to automate business process?
Oh, of course we can. And there's a lot of projects that I also know that's trying to work it out. But I am more a believer when it's really somehow connected or utilizing the crypto part of the blockchain technology. It makes a lot more sense to bringing the value to the internet.
And you have different types of blockchain, right? And can give some example that, like I know for CBDC, some are using R3 and others Ripple. So can you give some examples of, for example, what can we do on the Cardano blockchain?
It's not a CBDC, but we recently released a stable coin on Cardano, which is called USDA. It's the A stands for ADA, which is our governance token. It's ADA. But like I think I'm starting to promote A stands for Africa, so like USD Africa. That's what we are working on. I think it's gonna be released. It's supposed to be released already, but it's gonna happen in June, and after it goes live, it's gonna be one of the solutions or options that the government may think to create CBDCs on.
All right, thank you. Since we are talking Africa, so let's move to Nigeria with our friend Charles. Charles, I know Nigeria is the first country in terms of cryptocurrency tradings, right? It's like you worship the youngsters, they worship cryptocurrencies there. So, and I see there are many projects where they try to mix different things. For example, you have Nurika project from Nigeria, where they are using fitness blockchain, and there are many projects like that, in Nigeria. But what has provoked this for these youngsters to come up with projects, with innovative projects in Nigeria? What is the government doing, or what is the private sector doing, or it's only something like the youngsters, they are reading on the net what they can do with blockchain and all that?
Okay, thank you, Benito, for that interesting question. Sorry, guys, that I couldn't come down to Mauritius to join you guys. I would have loved to be there physically. So Nigeria has a very interesting use case when it comes to blockchain itself. From the poverty that is reigning in Nigeria down to the issue we have when it comes to dealing with the world. I won't say we are the best country in the world, but we have some elements that makes dealing with the global markets difficult. So all this kind of cumulated to the solutions we are seeing in this space. So currently we have solutions. For example, before this last regime, that is leaving the government house, there have been talks about oil thefts and all that, and Nigeria losing revenue. So there's this startup that is even working on digitizing oil trade for the country using blockchain. That has actually been done. And so that is one solution that is geared towards solving our problems. Then there are other solutions too. Some are geared towards tokenization majorly from the private sector. And then from the government, we already have CBDC that is there. We have an identity solution too, that an aspect of blockchain has been added to it. Then for the private sector, we are seeing solutions around land registry. Most Nigerians, or a lot of Nigerians, are outside the country, and that has actually increased revenue coming into the country. That's from people that are sending in money in terms of remittance. And most of these people that work outside the country, they want to come back maybe after 10 years, 20 years to see a structure built for them. Maybe they give their cousins or give their relatives money to buy lands and all this stuff. And unfortunately, those money, after spending 20 years of your life abroad, you come back and no house to back into and all that. So some people are now solving these issues using blockchain, right? You are able to stay outside the country, you buy the land, it is registered on the blockchain, you know where it is and all those stuff. That's even House Africa. I'm sure Emurgo already invested in them. Another one is chats. So we have a problem when it comes to aid distribution or giving funds to the poor down here. Then my company actually was solving that, right? Trying to see how funds that are coming in for AIDS go directly to those that it is meant to go to, and then we are using blockchain to track it and all that. So it's more of like what we are seeing in the space is based on needs that we know these things are happening, and blockchain can actually help us to solve most of this problem. That is why you see a lot of solutions coming out from Nigeria. The one we are actually pushing more, which we pray and we're earnestly hoping that happens as soon as is voting, because that is what ushers in the government. And if we cannot trust our voting process, then we'll continue to have our problems. So we hope that the government down here will also bring in blockchain into our voting system.
Okay, thank you. Hello? Yes, thank you. Now, Meike, when we talk about the application of blockchain for business processes, I know we have the on-chain and you have the off-chain. So we need to we connect the off-chain with the on-chain, right? What are the different things that we can think like in terms of business, where we can develop the off-chain, which means any software that is off the blockchain, which we can integrate with the blockchain, and the blockchain side will bring execution. Can you give us some example where the audience can have ideas how they can leverage on blockchain?
Absolutely. I also want to respond a bit to a previous question. What are the benefits of a blockchain? Namely, you can store and secure value and data. So you were more referring to the value side with the cryptos. Regarding value, blockchain can prevent double spend. So for example, when you put money on the bank, it's like you put 100 euro on the bank, but the bank double spends it multiple times and makes maybe 10,000 euro out of it. But blockchain prevents that double spend. And regarding data, it makes documents or it puts documents in a way that they cannot be manipulated, or when data is changed on the blockchain, you can trace back in time the history. So, and when we talk about on-chain and off-chain data is data which is put on the blockchain, and you get some kind of hash, a cryptographic key, basically a number, a huge number. It's like a fingerprint. And imagine off-chain data is, for example, data that you have on a cloud. Everyone knows cloud, for example, could also be like these Dropbox or something like this. You have data on the Dropbox, but you want to make sure that the data on the Dropbox have not been manipulated. Then there could be, for example, a button which puts a hash, this cryptographic, this fingerprint on the blockchain. And whenever this fingerprint doesn't work anymore, then you know the data in Dropbox was changed. Something was manipulated. So you receive always like a fingerprint to that data. When the data is off-chain, you only have the hash on the blockchain. But when it's on-chain, the actual data is on the blockchain.
Okay. Thank you, Meike. Last question to Yosuke. We have people from the banking sector here. How can the banking sector benefit from the blockchain technology? We all know that that banks, they're not fine with crypto because since we are removing the intermediary, right? But how can they leverage on the blockchain technology?
Good question. And I'll try to be honest on what I think. I'm not really sure whether it would really benefit or would it become a threat, first of all. When the CBDC becomes more popular, when the stablecoin becomes more popular, when the cross-border remittance happens on crypto more and more, I'm not sure, first of all. And now, today, we are using the banking system to make the cross-border remittance, the payment abroad. It's called SWIFT, right? SWIFT, SWIFT. United States, by people, all of us using this SWIFT, having the control of the US dollars. They know where the money is sent from, where to where. They know how much money was sent for everyone. They have all the information, and that's how the US dollar is having or maintaining the power of US dollars, not only within the country, but all over the globe. That's how that's one part of how they keep their power. But like, we know what happened when the war happened between Russia and Ukraine. I think about 300 billion worth US dollar asset was froze. It's not the Fed money that was froze. It was the money of the Russian citizen that was froze, 300 billion, right? So I don't want to make any political criticism or whatever, but like, I don't know. I'm not sure how people would really feel after that. Is it really a safe option to keep those money in the banks, or like, is it another solution, or is there somewhere that where this crypto, blockchain, and existing banking system all come together to make another next generation solution?
Thank you, Yosuke. So we are going to take 2 questions from the audience.
Can I add to that?
Anyone, please raise your hand and you can ask your question.
I wanted to add to the banking.
Yes, Charles.
Okay, so permit me to add a little because I've worked in the bank as a blockchain solution architect, and currently we are advising and training the Central Bank of Nigeria on blockchain and cryptocurrencies, and among other things we do. So one good use case for blockchain in the banking sector is transactions, right? Currently, how our transactions work, right? There is a central player that all transactions go to, and then does they do the switching and all that. Now, there are solutions from some companies that are working to have a unified system when it comes to transactions, right? So a bank, the central bank can issue the token, right? And it will be on the network, or the banks themselves can actually have tokens that represent their reserve. And then each banks are doing the transfer from one bank to another and all that. And then you don't have problem when it comes to it's having a central network. And if that central network goes down, that means the whole country is stopped. Nobody can do transfer and all that, or you have many transactions that are waiting and all that. Or if a bank's network fails, then transaction doesn't go. So with the blockchain, it's kind of very easy to do such a transfer. That's one very good use case.
Charles, we can use it for trade finance too, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and even for bond, government can actually use it for bond issuance. So there are a whole lot of use cases around it, provided the smart contract is safe. And mostly when it comes to the private sector or the government, smart contracts are not publicly viewable and all that. So.
Okay, thank you, Charles. So any question, please raise your hand. Please, we have one person there, and mine too. Yeah. All right, we're going to take these two questions.
Hello, everyone. So I'm CTO of Unkai Labs, CTO of Unkai Global, and he is my CEO and CEO. So I have a question concerning the entry barrier onto the blockchain. So today we have MetaMask, other wallets to enter the blockchain. And is there some research being done to lower the barrier to enter the blockchain? Because not everyone is at ease with a wallet or something like that. So is there something being done in that field?
All right. Who wants to answer this question?
I can go.
Charles? Okay, go for it, Charles.
All right. So yeah, if you check, there's a platform or solution called Web3 Auth, right? And Web3 Auth capitalizes on it's a plugin actually, and it capitalizes on the normal interface that users are familiar with. And then one other aspect that you can use is making your platform gasless, right? Aside the wallet itself, there's a big problem in the blockchain when it comes to your transactions, right? So paying for fees. And that's one advice I would like to give, because based on our experience and based on the solutions we've been building, if you are going to on a public blockchain, you need to think about the gas, right? The gas fee that your users are going to pay, and that is a very big headache or a very big blocker. And then also not just the gas fee they are paying. When we enter the bull market, you start seeing the prices of tokens that you used to pay gas going up, and that will not be favorable. So most of these platforms, they have that problem when it comes to creating solutions that geared towards the public. So you can either build a gasless application, so your users just come to the platform and make use of it. They don't care about the gas or anything that has to do with token. And then you can also eliminate integrating MetaMask by using Web3 Auth. You can check it out, Web3 Auth plugin. So you just it's like a Web2 interface, easy plugin for your users to sign into your platform and applications.
All right, thank you. Thank you for this, Charles. And Mahen, please.
Thank you, Benito. One question with regards to how to join a blockchain for smart contracts, right? Let's say, I know Mr. Yoshida, you are the founder of Cardano, if I'm not mistaken. So let's say if we have to enforce a smart contract on Cardano today, is it absolutely necessary that in an organization which want to be part of that smart contract, you have to set up a node in the organization, or is there another way to access the blockchain without setting up a node in the organization?
May I answer? So, of course, you don't have to set up a node. That's why a lot of projects are trying to build their solutions on top of other layer 1 or layer 2 solutions like Cardano or Ethereum, Polygon, whatever. And actually, that made a lot of projects easier to start a blockchain project. I know very few projects that really want to start creating the infrastructure layer, the layer 1 kind of structure layer, and build everything from ground, having all the nodes by themselves and everything. Yeah, that's a beautiful part of blockchain business, I guess.
And for using smart contracts, you also actually don't need a blockchain. So only when you really want to secure something, then blockchain could be sense, could make sense.
Can I quickly add just a little?
Yes, yes.
Sorry,
sure.
just a little. Right. So depending on what solution you are building on the blockchain, if you want to build a solution that is, you don't really need it to be on the public blockchain, then you have to think about a private blockchain or using some of this, they call it blockchain as a service cloud providers, right? I don't want to call names, but you can check them out. So you can deploy a private blockchain and use for your solution. Some of these private blockchain, you can actually deploy smart contracts on them. But if you don't care about having a private blockchain, then you can go public and use it on the public blockchain, just like the other two speakers have said.
All right. Thank you, Charles, Yosuke, and Meike. I'm going to end this session now.